Greetings, Auto Subs, VideoJames, and today we're going to be doing a review of my Transformers Leader Class Optimus Prime from the Optimus Prime versus Bonecrusher set. Now, this guy is one of the figures that I've had for the longest time. It's one of the oldest figures, actually, that I know of, that I've even seen, besides my 1974 Bumblebee, because that came out, like, once the movie aired, like, even before it aired, I think. And this is actually a really easy to transform figure, and it is a really nice figure for what they had back then. It did come with the translucent windows, so that was a kind of cool feature. They are actually translucent blue, that if you look at them, you can kind of see. I'll pull it closer. You can kind of see the windows are a little bit blue there, and they're translucent. And this is a kind of cool little feature about this guy. There's a little cowboy on the inside right in there. So yeah, this figure is really nice. I really do like it, but we're going to get into the details. So overall in length, it's about, I'd say about 7.5 inches, and height probably about 3.75 inches, including the smokestacks. So this Optimus is actually really cool. I really do like it. I like the detailing of the flames, how they kind of stayed close to the movie with that, how the flames kind of alternated, because if you notice in the movie, Optimus's colors kind of go, he has blue flames on front, and then red flames, and then blue. I do kind of dislike how the red flames up here kind of don't really connect to anything, that they're just there, but it does kind of match the fact that this is a different part of the truck, so it does kind of keep that realism to it. They did put a lot of detail onto the back of the truck, which is actually really impressive. That they have a lot of detail and moldings and all that put into that. The smokestacks and the foot pads actually do have decent kind of material and decent kind of texture. That the smokestacks have these little rings like you would see on regular smokestacks, and the foot pads actually look like they're made with those little bumps on them. And we see up here at the top, Optimus has all his little lights, and he's got these little bumps up here. And then we see on the front, we got that Autobot logo right there. And then we do actually have blue translucent lights down here too. Unfortunately, you can't really do anything with them. And like I said before, we have that little cowboy sitting in there. But one of the cool things that you can do is you can take that door and open it, and the cowboy goes away. So it's like one of them switch lever things. And another cool thing about this figure that you can kind of do when you're messing around with it and just trying to use your imagination is you can take the smokestacks. And this is actually kind of a transformation, I guess, is you can take the smokestacks, flip them like this, flip the pipes like that, and then put the gun down. And then you've got a cannon facing forward so that when he's driving, he can also shoot. And that is a really nice feature. I love when the figures actually come with little hidden features like that kind of just enhance the play a little bit. But yeah, I do like the color scheme on this as well. This kind of almost metallic blue that they put in. I do like it. I like the red that they use as well. It is a nice shade of red for this. And I don't really agree with the tannish color. I would have preferred that they used silver. But this was the Barricade versus Bonecrusher set, so they did use darker colors than the other one to make it kind of seem real. But anyway, here the Optimus is next to the 1974 Bumblebee. You can see that he's about a wheel and a half bigger, possibly 2 wheels. He is a decent bit taller as well, but then Bumblebee is really slim and Optimus is a big giant truck. So I wish I had a figure to compare him to, like Ironhide, but I don't really have any like that. And then here he is next to the Racing Camaro Bumblebee. You can see that we got a bit bigger of a distance on him now, that we actually got a little under 2 wheels. At least, and we can see that he actually does get a little tiny bit of height, so they get a little bit closer in size, but still Optimus really dwarfs it. Now we'll move on to the transformation. So the first thing you want to do when you're transforming this Optimus is you want to take the guns and kind of just, you want to pull them off. Oh, that's cool. You can kind of see a little bit that the light's kind of shining through the headlights. I didn't know I could get it at that angle. That's cool. But yeah, you want to take off the smokestack cannons, Just want to get those and wriggle them off. There we go. And then next thing you want to do is pull the legs back like in the movie. I always like transforming him in the movie, like how he has those fluid kind of transformations. And then you want to take these things and kind of just fold them back. They don't actually go inwards, which I don't really like because it looks like they should go inwards, but they don't. And then we just take this and fold it in as well. And then what we do is we pull the legs apart. We just pull them apart so we separate them. And then we take the feet. I'll get this turned around. We take the feet so you can see the feet are right here, and they're kind of keeping these in this current position. So we pull the feet out to where they're like that. And then we can do this. And then we got the knee pad. So we do that, we push the foot up a little bit. And then we do that for the other side as well. Just take the foot, pull it out, and then make the kneecap. And bada bing, Bob's your uncle. And then we kind of just fold these back against the back of the leg, like this, and just hook it up into the back of his wheel. So then it kind of hooks and makes the foot. And then we just pull this little thing out of the foot right here. And then we have his kind of heel. If the foot would say, there we go. And then we do the same on the other side, just pull a little heel out, and then connect it into the thing. And you get that little click when it tabs in. And then for the upper body, it's a little bit more convoluted. So we see on the underside, we have his arms and we got his shoulder pads. Mine actually lost the shoulder pad because it broke off and I couldn't repair it. So it kind of just lost the shoulder pad. But what you want to do is you want to pull the arms and you want to just kind of make them up like that where they're perpendicular to the body. And then you see these things, they're on a swivel joint, so you just pull them towards the cab of the truck. Do that for the other side as well. And then that kind of unlocks the figure a little bit because these were keeping it in a locked position. So now we can just kind of pull this down and we get Optimus's spine coming in. And we just push that into place. And then what we can do is we can pull his head down. And then we see we got Optimus's face right there. And then we can take the cab of the truck and kind of just do that if you want to. I don't like that because it really gives a lot of back package. So what I found out you can actually do is you can take that, and it takes a little bit of force, but if you pull it kind of down and outwards, then you see we get this little bridge here, and then we can just do this, and kind of fold this up and push it down. And then we see we got a little less back package and the wheels kind of in the right place. And then this also lets us do something interesting, which is after we put the arm down, of course, and rotate it, because we got to do that first. So we put the arm down, rotate it like that, and then do the same thing on the other side. Put the arm down, rotate it, and then put the arm down and get the shoulder pad down. But then we can also just take one of the smokestacks for the appropriate side. Actually, you take the ones from the opposite side, and you just kind of stick them on like that. And then we actually have the smokestacks like we do in the movie, that we got the little pipes actually coming up here. And then we take this side, do the same thing, and tab this in, and then just flip that up. And then there is your first movie leaded class Optimus completely transformed. So you can see we have the legs right here. We got this little kind of blue paint detailing on the legs, which I really like. You can't pull them out anymore. I tried. It looks like you should be able to pull them out because there's like little grooves in them. But sadly, they don't really extend any further. At least not that I can tell. And then we see we got the windows up here. It's a bit inconsistent with the color. I kind of wish they would have kept the translucent blue material, or at least painted it to look translucent blue. And we see we got the shoulder pads up here. We got the arm plates over here. We got the arms. They did do a very nice job of sculpting the shoulders that we see. We got a bunch of details on the shoulders, and they did a nice job on Optimus's head as well. He's got the face mask on, and you can't really see, but you can see the kind of grooves in his helmet, and then we got his little ears, and then we see on the side that we have the little paint for his ears, kind of separating him from his body, giving it that extra layer of detail. And then we see we just got his shoulder pads, and we got his big giant feet. And then we see on the sides, either side, we got the wheels kind of just hidden up in here and up on the back of the figure. He does have a really big backpack, which, I mean, I kind of expected off of Optimus, but not really. That when you look at him, it looks like he's actually wearing a giant backpack. But, I mean, to each his own, I guess. I really wish it hadn't gotten that much back package, because we see Optimus in the movies and all that, and he's just got that kind of slim back, except for in Transformers Robots in Disguise and Transformers War for Cybertron, that usually Optimus has kind of got that skinny-ish cab, kind of like all the other figures, that they're all kind of skinny unless they're designed to be fat. And then we see the back that we got the kind of details from the trailer. We got the little flames. We got the back of the legs. You can see some new sculpting there. And then we just got the same thing on the other side. And that's basically all there is to this Optimus figure. Again, we got the smokestacks up here, which I always like putting the guns up there just because it kind of gives them the sense of realism that he actually has the smokestacks now. You can't take the smokestacks off of the guns and put them onto the cab manually because they're kind of connected with a little lever joint, so you can't really take those apart and just expect them to stay anywhere else. But that would be the Optimus completely transformed. It stands at roughly about 8 inches, I would say. Optimus next to the Racing Bumblebee and the Transformers The Last Knight ripoff Bumblebee. So you can see he stands a good about, I'd say, 2 inches above them. He is actually quite tall. He's almost as tall as Grimlock, actually. And he does actually manage to be taller than almost every other figure I have, or that I've seen. So he is a very sizable figure. I also like how, for his size, they kind of kept everything to scale still. So, like, his head is kind of about the same size that you would normally see. His hands are still those really giant hands. His feet are still relatively about the same size that you would see in movies and stuff like that. And then here he is next to the Age of Extinction Grimlock. So you can see Grimlock stands actually a tiny bit shorter. Optimus is actually a small bit taller, but that's really mainly because of the smokestacks. Without the smokestacks, Optimus would actually be shorter due to Grimlock's figure. But Optimus and Grimlock do stand at nearly about the same height. The smokestacks give Optimus about, I'd say, a millimeter extra distance. But they are roughly about the same size, and that's saying a lot because Grimlock is actually Voyager class. But anyway, you can see that with the size comparisons, they do kind of keep that same kind of idea of small-ish head, but relative to the body. And we can kind of see that Grimlock has got a little bit better sculpting than Optimus. So we can see Optimus, they kind of wanted to just put on the mask, so we didn't really have much detail. And while he does have a lot of detail in the other areas, we can see that Grimlock has more detail on the face, kind of more detail around the chest, and he's got that little Autobot symbol right on his abdomen, whereas Optimus has no Autobot symbol anywhere on his body except for his back, which I don't really get. I never really got why Optimus never had the Autobot symbol on his head in the movies, because basically every other Autobot either had it on their chest or head in the movie, and Optimus had it basically nowhere. But yes, that is it for the Transformers Bonecrusher versus Optimus Prime review. I do, again, wish that they'd use a silver coloration instead of that tan, because Optimus isn't tan on his metal areas in the movie. He's silver, but it does kind of match the theme, which was kind of dust covered and all that from the highway. But anyway, I'd probably give this figure about a 4 out of 5. Again, that's probably just for the coloration and the fact that there's not really too much details in the area that you'd want it. Also, Probably for the fact that the coloration of the windows doesn't really match the coloration on the cab of the truck. So that kind of throws it off a little bit. And there's not much detail with this Optimus that you see in the movies. Optimus has got all these parts and everything and all these extra little appendages. Like the little lights from his truck actually show up above his chest, but we can see on this Optimus that we don't really get that. And we've seen in the movies that Optimus's chest is kind of tilted inward on both sides. That we see that coming from the outside in, both sides of his chest kind of tilt downward. And this Optimus kind of just keeps him straight, so I don't really like that. But overall, it's still a really nice figure. I do like the attention to detail that they put in with the vehicle parts on the chest of the Prime mode. I do like the paint detailing that they did, that they kept the flames and the little details on the legs. I like that they put those on. I love the size of the figure, that for a leader class figure, it actually does feel like a leader class. It does feel like it's a good size and that it wasn't really ripped off. But anyway, that's going to be it for this review video. I'll leave a link down in the description for you guys to check out this Optimus, as well as the Bonecrusher set, if you guys want to go take a look at that. The Bonecrusher set, if I remember correctly, is actually like $136 now, because that set was a really rare one to find almost anywhere. But anyway, I'm going to leave this video here. If you guys liked it, you can slap the like button as always, and I will see all you beautiful people in the next video.